Episode 9. Welcome to the M2 Podcast. I'm your host, Mad Mike. My co-host, Mr. JK Heath, aka Kyle Heath. This is the show where we cover esports and personality, some gaming industry related news, new and upcoming games, and also some technology and innovation. So, for this week, Kyle, what do you have for us?
Oh, boy, do we have some stories, huh? We got some updates on some stories in the past. We have potential situations at Twitch and what we could possibly expect throughout the year as the year continues. We have brand new streaming products and I guess gaming products again. I feel like we've been able to cover a decent amount of new stuff that's been coming out. I feel like it's been nonstop this year so far. It's got some new streamer products. Apple also had an event this week for those that care about Apple. They announced a new Mac Studio, so we'll be talking a little bit about that. What kind of power that little unit punches. Of course, there was not Gamescom. There was a State of Play this week. And it was mainly Japan focused games. Studios out of Japan was the main kind of focus of it. It was fairly short, but there's a couple key games there that I wanted to talk about. Overwatch 2 got a announcement to PvP, so we'll be discussing that. And some outages this week that affected, I'm sure, everyone. So we'll be discussing that as well. Also, an update on 100 Thieves. So there's a decent amount to talk about. Let's get into it. First article we have is from Video Games Chronicle. Jordan Midler did the report on this. He pulled it from Bloomberg originally, that had the article on a paywall. Article states that Twitch is facing an employee exodus amid a culture clash, according to some reports. Over 360 employees have left in recent months, with execs reporting failure to understand the community among chief concerns. So, a little more detail. Amazon streaming platform facing an exodus of executives since the start of 2022. The report claims that 6 top employees, including the chief operating officer, chief content officer, and the head of creator development, have all left this year. On top of this, more than 300 other employees left last year, and more than 60 have already left in 2022. One of the employees, the article also notes, was, of course, DJ Wheat. He was the former head of creator development. He discussed with Bloomberg a little bit. He gave his thoughts on the situation, why he believes Twitch is kind of from what seems to be a sort of a downward spiral, especially over the past year. He said, quote, "We went down the Silicon Valley route, hiring from Facebook and from Twitter." Graham says, claiming that many of the newer execs were, quote, "unwilling to learn what this community was and why it was so special." So goes on to explain a little bit more, but I mean, I know personally, Mike, that I know how you kind of feel about the platform, and I know I've certainly gained some opinions myself over the past couple of years with kind of the route they're taking and why Twitch certainly isn't what it used to be. But what are some of your main thoughts, Mike?
Yeah, I think well, there's two things to it, right? It's like I've been a Twitch user since 2008, and I've basically seen the highs and the highs, and right now I think this is the lowest it's been in a while. It was pretty low before the pandemic. A lot of people don't know this, but they were actually losing viewership and members. Like, people weren't coming back for a while, especially with like the rise of YouTube and stuff. But the pandemic, basically, with everybody being home, everybody came back and started watching streamers again. And some people are streaming for the first times, which is really good. But it's like Twitch as a company and a platform. Well, not as a company, as a platform, they should be doing fine, and they are statistically based on like live streaming metrics. How they hold pretty much all the metric, like they hold all the information. All the people want to watch Twitch streamers. That's where all the viewers. That's where all the eyes are, because they're basically first. But now it's like, dude, I didn't know 300 employees left last year. I knew it was a lot of people, but how many, like, losing your chief operating officer, chief content officer, and head of creator development? I mean, dude, the only updates that Twitch has put out in the last 3 years, 3 or 4 years, has been entirely to sell Amazon Prime,
Yeah.
and they haven't really invested into the platform or discoverability. Like, it's really, really frustrating. I mean, I've voiced privately with you about my opinions of Twitch and how angry I am. It's like because I care about the platform and I want them to be successful. It's like you're self-sabotaging
Yeah.
over the last few years.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, with the whole like, cause like I knew DJ, like I didn't know DJ Week personally, but like I heard about him all the time, right? Because he would host a lot of like Twitch events and stuff like that, and you'd see him talking and whatnot. So I mean, like, and you could tell like he really cared about the platform. So when like I heard he was leaving, part of me was like I initially thought, oh, okay, that's like a personal choice. He's probably just like ready to move on. But like after reading this article, it's kind of like, well, no, I think he saw where Twitch was heading and he disagreed with it
yeah,
so much that he felt like he had to leave. It's just so unfortunate. Because he really, I mean,
yeah,
I saw one of his last streams too before he left, and then it's like the last week of him in his position. He was like, and like he was like in tears because like he'd been working there for like I think it was like a decade or something, and like you could tell like he was very sad that he was leaving, and he probably didn't want to, but you
yeah.
just at some point you gotta just give it up, I guess, if the company's not doing well.
True. I mean, for people, there's not everybody like Twitch is still a niche thing. Like, not a lot of people use Twitch. A lot of people have never been on Twitch. Like the only way to describe Twitch to some people that's never even heard of it or been to the website is basically to say that it's YouTube except for it being like videos. It's all happening live. That's really what it's like. But the switch that happened, and I'm gonna do this right now, is if you were to go to the twitch.tv homepage, um, and you go to like the different sections that are going on, the number one, this is supposed to be a gaming website originally. Um, and now like the number one categories are just chatting, which is already like a big shift. And that's been happening for the last 4 or 5 years. Now keep in mind that some Twitch streamers, their personalities too, like pretty big names, and people just want to interact with their community. So they go there. But where Twitch starts going astray is when you get into the slots and they're streamers literally gambling on stream. And it's like it's legal in their country, but is it ethically or morally just to be broadcasting or advertising gambling to
Yeah,
video games? And most people that play video games and video game developers in general market to children.
definitely.
So that's a concern. And I mean, IRL content, it is what it is. You can go out and do whatever you want, right? I mean, I think that stuff's kind of cool. There's a podcasting one. Hey, maybe we'll do that in the future.
Hey,
A little
maybe
side note.
you never know.
But yeah, but the one that kills me is like the hot tub stuff where like over sexualized content where it's like, yeah, go for it, but it's like at what point are like what's your market, you know? I feel like they just lost their way of like what they're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
And that goes to say exactly what you quote him. He goes, went down the Silicon Valley route, hired Facebook and Twitter. He says that claiming unwilling to learn what the community was, why it was special, and it's like they changed the content and the product in general to something that they wanted to fit, and they just wanted to be like the number one place to watch live content. But it's like, how can you do that when Facebook or YouTube has like 10 times the amount of users? You know, that can
Yeah.
go live at a single time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, YouTube is certainly, we've seen that platform grow a very, like, very, at what seems like a very accelerated rate, especially the past year of like just trying to get their live streaming up to, Twitch standard or better, and won't take much more work for them to do that. I mean,
No.
there's already like BTTV and FFC integration, like for people who love those emotes. There's I think gift subs are going to be coming out soon. I know they were in the works last year.
Yeah, they're in, like,
Um
beta or something, I
yeah,
think?
they're coming
Yeah.
that's coming out very soon. The whole I think the chat overall, the chat format certainly improved, especially on mobile. They've been like
Mhm.
experimenting with different things, and so that's
Yeah.
certainly next up, if not, gonna take over at some point. I feel like if Twitch doesn't do something.
Yeah.
I don't have the answers to what Twitch should do, but I don't know, this ain't it. That's all I can say.
I yeah, I think, Twitch is living on borrowed time now. I think they needed to make major like, revisions like, a handful of years ago before they got bought out by Amazon, or right when they got bought out by Amazon, because, like, you can't search any new streamers you wanna search for, and it's 2022, that's insane. That's like I think they think they're TikTok, man. It's like you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, you don't know what you're gonna get. You're just scrolling through trying to find something. How do you know it's good? How do you know it's bad? How do you know it's something that you actually wanna watch? You
Right.
know, you can't. So it's weird. The only thing you can search for is the game, and then sort by viewers, high to low or low to high.
Yeah.
It's like
There's not, yeah,
that's a
there's no filtering whatsoever, really.
yeah.
Hmm. I don't know. It's yeah, these numbers are. I mean, the 300 people that left last year, and then already on that, like barely 3 months into 2022, there's 60 more that have left. It's like, oh
That's crazy.
man, that is like insane to me. I don't know how many employees they have total, but I don't care how much that is. That's still a huge chunk. Um,
Yeah, this headline says Twitch is facing an employee exodus. I was like, exodus is an extreme word. 360 employees have left in recent months. Oh, that's an
yep.
exodus. Like that's crazy. Holy crap.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
but who knows too? I mean, the way I'm looking at this too, though, is like, if more employees leave, it's like it's gonna force them to change, right? Like it's gonna force them to like realize. You would think, unless if they don't, it's just gonna fizzle out, and that's it, and then it'd
well,
be rather
that's what
unfortunate.
that's what happens. You get people in leadership that don't understand what they're producing, and
Yep.
then nothing ever changes. They just sit there and they're like, "Oh, I don't know what to do," and they're just catching their money or whatever.
Oh man.
But whatever. We'll
Yeah.
see how it ends up. Um,
And
but if
2022
I'm a
is gonna be a interesting year, right?
yeah, yeah, if I'm a creator on Twitch, I'm like diversifying immediately though.
For sure, as every creator should do. The Devin
Yeah,
Nash way, as we
the
say.
Devin Nash way. Yeah,
Yeah.
get on everything. LinkedIn because people on LinkedIn don't like gaming content. Post anyway.
I know that's the last place I would think I'd ever want to post gaming content is LinkedIn.
Yeah, but everybody plays games now, so
Yeah, everybody does. Who
yeah.
knows, man? If you post it on your personal account, if you're brave enough, then like maybe some like people will see and be like, "Hey, I like games too," and then there you go, connection right there. So,
Jeez.
anyways, interesting road for Twitch in 2022. We'll see where it goes. Of course, keep you up to date with what we find, but it's I don't know, not looking good for Twitch.
Yeah, I expect something insane to happen,
Yeah, here's to
like
hoping, right?
CEO stepping down.
Yeah.
That's my prediction. CEO steps down this year.
We'll see. Maybe something before TwitchCon. Maybe it'll change the landscape of what TwitchCon's gonna be because that is supposed to be coming. So
If it happens,
it'll be
we'll see.
it'll be really weird between now and TwitchCon. What happens to Twitch in general? Because like there could be some crazy things in like what 6, 7, 8 months, however long it is. I think it's October. So oh man.
I mean, yeah, let's just move on before I lose it.
Well, you know what? We have a better story for you, right? We have some new peripherals. Like I mentioned at the front of the show, Razer is launching some new streaming gear. They announced today, in fact, at the time of recording this on March 10th. Razer announced a wearable mic, a Bluetooth wearable mic, an audio mixer that competes with the Go XLR. We'll see a video of that in a second for the people watching on video. They're also launching their very own key light, which if you know about Elgato, you know they've had a key light for a long time in their product shop, and this is very similar with one, I guess, distinct difference being that the key light is RGB. So I'm a little confused about this one, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
I could see a key light, sure. It's in fact, it'll be easier if we just flip over to Harris Heller here. He put out a video of it today, kind of showcasing the product. And we'll skip ahead here. And as you can see, comparing it to an Elgato key light, looks very
it
similar.
looks the same.
Pretty much the same. The only difference between that and the Elgato key light is, of course, the Elgato one has rounded edges, and then the Razer key light has those nice little sharp square edges. So it has a little more real estate, I guess. They get like half an inch maybe of extra real estate. Built very similarly. It has a back panel on the very back, I guess, that powers the lighting, and the controls are on the panel itself rather than that little back part. Because for the Elgato key light, that the little back square that is located behind the light panel is where all the controls are, which actually makes it kind of hard to control if you're trying to adjust on the fly because you have to kind of reach your arm around to the very back center of the panel to adjust it.
Yeah.
Which you don't really need to do as much because if you have something like a Stream Deck, you can just easily change your lighting on the fly with the Stream Deck integration, which is very nice. You never really have to touch your panel; it's kind of just all there. And the video also goes on to show that kind of turning the light on. The configuration is through Razer Synapse on PC, or there is a mobile app as well that lets you control it. That is fairly responsive. There's a little bit of a delay, but it's not terrible, I don't think. But Harris also shows sort of the RGB power that this light produces, and if we see, it's kind of like very dim color almost. It looks like, at least could be the camera. I'm not gonna completely write it off, but it seems to be very subtle for the most part. The color's not super strong as I was expecting it to be, especially if we move back to the article here, the very top. If we look at the panels in the picture,
Yeah,
they look
that's
very bright, and then you cut to the video, it's kind of just like, yeah, it's RGB. Like it's not anything crazy, I don't think. The biggest piece of this, the biggest thing that kind of turns me off, if I'm being honest about it, is the price point. This is
yeah.
launching at at $299, $300. So this is launching at the Elgato Keylight, which is a very worthy contender. And the only downside, of course, no RGB. However, that Keylight's only $199 or $200. So it's $100 less. You pretty much get the exact same functionality minus the RGB. I know you don't really have any panels like this yourself, Mike, but I mean, what do you does this
I
interest you at all?
Not particularly. I mean, I understand the point of panels, they're pretty cool, but it's like I got a $30-$40 ring light that I'm using right now,
Yeah.
and it's like I feel like it works well enough. You know what I mean? It's like if you're using a webcam or like a GoPro like I use right now, the quality of the camera itself doesn't really justify spending $300 on a light. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So if I have like a really, really good camera where I'm getting like 4K on it to like picture my face and I'm doing proper films, then yeah, maybe I'll take a look at these key lights. But I mean, Razer's trying to sell a dream right now, I think. That's very expensive. That's very expensive. And Harris has really good equipment, and if he's not making it look good, it's probably not that good.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, to your point, you're talking about your ring light. I could do you one better. I have like an old lamp that I've had for like maybe 15 years. It's a very old, like kind of desk lamp where it was one of the
Yeah,
very first ones where you can
I got
move
one of
it.
those too.
It's like
Yeah,
it almost reminds me of the Pixar lamp that like jumps around. It's kind of looks
yeah,
like that. It's got an LED bulb in it, and I literally, am not even kidding, have like a tissue taped around it for diffusion. So that's literally like, and I
yeah.
mean, but I have a great
You look
camera.
great.
I
Yeah,
like there's not
it
much I
works.
need to, yeah, exactly. Like it works just fine, and I paid maybe $20 for this 15 years ago, and it's like and it's just like you really like key lights. I feel like are something that's like, I mean, yeah, it looks great, I guess, if someone wants to see your setup, but like there's not really like, but like for filming and stuff, like you could literally get a lamp, you can get a $20 ring light, $30 ring light, like you
Yeah,
don't need anything crazy for lighting. And people will like, I'm not like saying, if you want to get something like this, by all means, the Elgato one's a great option. I don't think you need RGB for a key light, in my personal opinion. I can't, like, maybe there's some niche cases where if you're trying to get some like raw color, I guess, on one of the sides of your face for like photo shoots or something, maybe this I could see a use case for that. But like I don't know, man. I just there's nothing that jumps out to me as like I want this product, or like there's nothing that's stopping me from just saying, all right, I'm gonna go to the Elgato store, pay $100 less, and get essentially the same thing. Like, just
yeah. I
doesn't
mean,
catch me.
there's so many other options. I mean, for anybody that's really trying to get a key panel, there's two options that we just gave you. Get a cheap ring light. You're over here MacGyvering an entire thing,
Quite
putting like
literally,
tissues and stuff over it.
yeah.
I mean, I done this before too. Before I had the ring light, I had a similar like desk lamp like you had, and I have blinds right on the other side of me because, of course, like natural light's the best light. But the next best option is I grab the light and I basically lit up my entire blinds, and my blinds are white. And then I use the reflective surface of that to get more of a color on me
Yeah.
for the camera. The other thing you can do, and if you're worried about RGB, rope lighting, go to Walmart, get those rope lights that are like $30. You can get one that's like, some of them come out to like 50 feet, but I think like normal is like 20 to 30 feet long. And just light it up, hang it up on the side of your like room. It'll turn your entire room whatever color it is.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like it'll be lit up. So a lot of people see it on TikTok actually. The
Yeah.
Zoomers, you will see it.
I think I kind of know what you're talking about. I've seen a lot of those like advertised lights. There's a lot of cool like sunset lights, and I've seen like so much stuff. Um,
Mhm.
it almost entices me to get something like that because those look really cool. Anyways, before I digress, I don't know. This just this panel just isn't doing it for me. I don't think. I can appreciate them Razer trying to tap into that lighting market. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd be curious to see other options they offer in the future because I'm sure they're going to offer more. Just a quick note though, and I guess a quick, and just kind of explain like some nice to haves that they've included. Harris is showing right now they have an included extension cable. They that it essentially doubles the length of your cord, which so you won't have to worry about buying an extension. There's like I just mentioned before, all the controls. If you wanted to control the lighting from the panel itself, it's all around the rim of the light, so you don't have to like bend your arm around back.
Mhm.
Um, and of course, there's wireless integration, so you can adjust it from your phone, which is nice. So they, certainly thought about stuff like that, and they're there. It seems like a decent enough product, but $22.99 just isn't it. I don't think.
Not for me, but also, we're concentrating a lot on the key light. They've also done an audio mixer, which I want your opinion on
They
because you have
have.
plenty of XLR equipment, and their Razer, was it wireless mic?
Uh,
Isn't that right?
yes,
Portable mic.
wireless mic.
Yeah.
Wireless mic. I pulled up another video. I would use a Harris Heller video here too, but he actually didn't post one today. I'm using a smaller creator by the name of Bits. Um, he did a video on the interface today, um, the mic interface. Essentially, he showed off kind of the physical device itself, which if we look for the people watching the video, you can see it looks very, very similar to a Go XLR Mini. And I think the idea they certainly drew inspiration from that. Um, and not to say that that's a bad thing by any means. I think Go XLR is a fantastic product. I'd love to see more companies try and do their spin on it or kind of make their own versions. So as you can see, there's 4 sliders. There's 4 buttons to mute all the channels. There's a bleep button. There's a mute button. It has all the same inputs as a Go XLR. It's got line in, line out. It's got headphone jack, mic jack, XLR mic inputs, even a console optical input, even though that's not really a thing with the new consoles, unfortunately. So all that is included with this new interface that Razer put out. Of course, it's integrated with Razer Synapse, so you can control pretty much everything. They show the interface off this video as well. As you slide it, it changes the interface on the fly, similar to Go XLR, but as you can see, the interface is very just, here's your playback mix, your voice chat, your line out, your stream mix, all on one page. You can adjust the leveling, change the routing at any point. You can play back everything in your headphones, similar to the Go XLR. You get direct feedback, which I personally love for my mic. I always love to hear how I sound in my headset. So I use that all the time. All those features seem to be there. And in terms of quality, I don't know if he actually uses it in this video. I didn't see him because he was adjusting levels on the fly, but it wasn't affecting his mic at all. So I think he was using another interface. He's like kind of cheating there, but you could see as well, though, similar to the Go XLR, there is a built-in compression, noise gate, EQ, so you can adjust all that as well. It looks as though you can get more detailed with it. However, I will say there's like show more menus and all these, which I'm assuming you can really fine tune, but he never opened them, so I have no idea if that's the review is certainly missing some missing some stuff. I think he could have expanded on a little bit. Um, just before the end of this, there's also certain things like there's effects. I want to say he explains them somewhere. There's effects. Here we go. Similar like if you want to do a voice changer, or you want to like add echo or reverb or whatever to like troll your friends or troll your stream or whatever you want to do. This is actually included in the software as well, which I will say the Go XLR Mini anyway does not have any of that in their software. So I guess there's a one up on Go XLR,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what do you think about something like this, Mike? I know you're a USB mic user.
Well, yeah, as you were talking, right? So I I kind of had an epiphany, and I understand why the prices are the way they are. You're buying the brand, and when you mention Razer Synapse, I forgot. With Razer Synapse, you can basically sync up everything, RGB included, to like interact with your game, make it all encompassing. Like a single app can control all your RGB. And I think the Razer Key Light, the Chroma being RGB, is probably an extra incentive to like if you had two of those guys like pointed right at you, and then you're in the middle of a game. Like I think I talked about this last episode, right? If you were to pick up a sniper and like everything just goes red or like a certain color, so it's like really intense and it's like an encompassing experience for a viewer. I think that's or just a player in general. I think that's kind of an incentive to go with the Chroma and just the overall Razer brand.
Yeah.
But to answer your question about the audio aspect of it with this XLR technology, like the more we talk about XLR, the more I want one. So, but well, I mean, I feel like my mic is holding up for now. Um, if it messes up, I mean, the next mic I'm getting is XLR for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the price point of this, I don't know if we mentioned it, it's going to be 250, which is the exact same as the Go XLR Mini.
Mhm.
So guess if you were looking for a Go XLR Mini and you want to go with a probably comparable option, I'm sure this Razer interface will do the trick. But yeah, it seems like it has a lot to offer. I didn't see anything on submixing either. I know Go XLR Mini doesn't do submixing, so I guess there's no real surprise there. Um, yeah, I mean, it seems like it's a decent little package for 250 if you're looking for a nice interface. And if you already, again, like you said, if you're already in the Razer ecosystem, it could be a no-brainer, right? Just get this, and
Yeah.
then you're all synced up. So there's certainly a market for this, and I'm glad to see other brands start to get into the audio side. Because I know brands like Elgato too have also gotten in their own XLR interfaces and whatnot. So a lot more brands are taking time to look into the audio side and try and make solutions there. So it seems like a pretty great product. Seems to be very similar to Go XLR. So I know sometimes the Go XLR is kind of hard to find. So again, another reason why you may want to pick something like this up. It's got voice changing too. Go XLR Mini doesn't have that. Just saying.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Voice changing adds like a whole nother step of entertainment.
Yeah, for real. 250. That's all that is. Fortunately, I don't think I had a video about this particular product. I'll launch over to their website real quick. So as you can see, the little Bluetooth siren mic, they're calling it the Siren BT, seems to be like your standard kind of Bluetooth clip-on. Seems everyone in these images are clipping it onto their shirt and just kind of on their collar. Which I'm assuming is probably the most optimal place to put a mic like that, rather than around the ear. I know I've used to see those a lot. Just kind of the
Yeah.
Bluetooth earpiece hanging off the ear. But yeah, so seems like it. Yep, retails for $99, $100, 99.99. Certainly a market for this. I think for like maybe business, and I mean, I guess maybe if I feel like many like gamers probably wouldn't worry about something like this. It just wouldn't like fly. I don't know. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I don't see a point to it from a gamer's perspective. Like content creation, probably, and I do feel like Razer isn't quite in the mainstream of business yet to be a business product, but it's still like I mean, it seems cool. and it's at a decent price point. I mean, $100 for a wireless mic like that. I mean, that's gonna be good as long as the quality's good.
Yeah,
So
but I
yeah,
would certainly assume that the quality is going to be pretty pretty comparable, if not better, than most kind of like wireless Bluetooth options. And who knows? I mean, maybe something like this. I think if someone's in the market for like a wireless, like sort of lav mic for videos and whatnot, and they have a camera that's Bluetooth compatible, they could even hook it up and record audio over Bluetooth, and it sounds better than most lab mics, maybe even. So
yeah. I mean, it's
certainly,
also a good idea with I mean, they're showing it right now on that first like top picture is for people that are just listening. They have a man with the mic basically attached to his collar, but it's synced up with their phone. So it's like if you want better quality when you're actually talking and you're not too far away from your phone, that kind of thing, or like if you are far away from your phone, like you're filming something on the opposite side of your room, that might be the product you want to go with.
yeah.
So
I think for content creation, yeah, there's certainly some places I could see this being a great piece of hardware to add to your arsenal, so to speak. Um,
yeah,
yeah, see, it says here that's also compatible with IRL streaming apps, which is interesting too. I don't know if that's just through Bluetooth or if that actually is like it's native support through an app, but hey, there could be a hey, if you're an IRL streamer, that's another use case, right? I
yeah,
mean,
that's a good point.
um, there's certainly a lot here, that's for sure. But yeah, for $100, you could probably get a decent little clip-on collar mic. But that does it for the Razer products. That is 3 new products announced today. Key light, eh. Mixer,
Yeah,
all right, I like it. And then the Bluetooth, the Bluetooth mic, not a bad
not
option
for us.
either. I don't think.
Yeah, yeah, not for us, but
Yeah, definitely not.
it's cool.
Yeah, I can respect it, Razer. All right, keep putting out products.
Yeah, we need more competition. Get better.
Certainly. All right. So, Mike, you might check out from this next article. I don't know. I try to explain the
Eh,
best I can, but it
I
is
like.
an Apple article.
Yeah.
So, this week, Apple had a their spring kind of showcase. They talked about everything from a new iPhone SE to a brand new PC that you could use that is intended for, I think, kind of a workstation build. That is the Mac Studio. This article is coming from The Verge. It's a new desktop for creative professionals. This thing is a very small form factor. It is 7.7 inches wide. It is a square, so it's the same around all sides. It's a very, as you can see from images, it is a very tiny desktop. Literally, you could fit the tower on your desk. And starting ask price, of course, to no surprise, is $19.99. So $2,000, I guess, for the entry level. But if we look at some of the specs, some little spec graphics that they have, this is certainly no joke of a computer. It says it offers up to 20 core CPU, so 20 cores just in the processor, and then a 64 core GPU on top of that. With the M1 Ultra, M1 Max, and M1 Ultra, they're chips, they're processors that they're packing in these things. They're native, I guess, they're proprietary chipset. You can have up to 128 gigabytes of unified memory, over 800 gigabits of memory bandwidth, and up to 8 terabytes of SSD storage. This is all within a very small form factor. One thing I did note, or I did see, so the M1 Max version, again, starting at $2,000. The M1 Ultra, I guess the highest model you can get, starts at $4,000. They also announced a studio display. I'm not going to get too much into that. It is essentially it's a really high res display for $1,600. So, you look more. It's a 27-inch, I believe, maybe a little bit bigger. But yeah, all available for pre-order now. This is when I saw this, I certainly I'm not one to really, I don't think, like, drool over Macs, like Mac desktops. I certainly love like the Mac laptops. Because especially in like the programming world, like Macs are very efficient, and a lot of developers turn to them. But but yeah, I mean, this desktop is certainly surprising that they're packing just in this M1 chipset a 20 core CPU and a 64 core GPU. That's certainly nothing to laugh at. So I don't know. I mean, Mike, what do you think about the Mac Studio? Tiny powerhouse.
I mean, it's definitely a powerhouse, that's for sure. Those numbers are insane. I want to
Yeah.
see how it performs too, because it's like I've this is definitely for basically, I mean, it's called Mac Studio, so it's people for that are working in like high scale images,
Yeah.
like like 3D modeling maybe, um, digital like interior designing and stuff like that, and definitely movies. I mean, for sure. So that's interesting though. I mean, Apple's always trying to go with their like own little thing. I'm curious, like, is everything in there entirely Apple, or do they get like did they build their own CPU?
Yeah, so the M1, that M1 chip is proprietary to
Entirely
Apple.
theirs.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
entirely theirs. So that is 100% their baby, I guess. I know the M1 chip has been featured in their Mac Minis as well, which is an even smaller desktop tower. The thing is like I think it's like 2 inches tall or something like that, but it's the same kind of square format. Um, that's been featured in those. There's also M1 MacBook Pros. They feature that chipset in their laptops. And from what I hear, it's a fantastically fast processor. So, especially I guess running on their Mac OS as well, their native software, it all integrates fluently from what I've heard. But yeah, that is entirely theirs. The M1.
Yeah, thing's a monster. That's for sure.
But
Um,
yeah,
geez. I'm really jealous about like how small it is. I mean, just look at some of these pictures of like people posting on their desk.
yeah.
It's tiny, man.
No, things very
For
small.
people in like everywhere except for the US, 7.5 or 7.7 inches is like 195 millimeters or something like that.
Yeah,
See if
yeah.
my engineering math is correct.
See, I'm too
So
American for that. I can't just like this is how many. Here it is in a
yeah,
metric.
right on the spot. It's basically 195, 196 millimeters.
Mm,
So
dang
it's
man.
tiny. It's small.
Yeah, they're putting the term desktop into literal sense, I think.
Yeah. You know,
Um,
one of the things I found interesting is it says media engine with H264 HEVC. I thought that was an NVIDIA thing.
H2 oh, you're talking about the encoding.
Yeah, the
H.264.
encoding.
That no, as far as I know, that's just a codec for MP4, I believe.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but I see that all the time, when editing, you'll see that with a MP4 like format, it'll be you can export in H.264, which is like the highest res MP4 format.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's I'm assuming that just, again, like you were saying, it just has something to do with like an editing station. Like this is like this would be like an insane editing station, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. And I understand I mean Wi-Fi 6, that's pretty wild. But then you do Wi-Fi 6, but then why aren't you doing Bluetooth 5.2?
See, I don't know. I didn't even know there was a Bluetooth 5.2. I'm being honest with
Yeah,
you.
it's like the newest generation. So it's like it's interesting how they have it set up. I mean, admittedly, who really uses 5.2? If you're if you're working on a station like this, you're plugging directly into something.
Oh yeah,
Like for sure. If you're making music, you're not messing around.
yeah. You're not. Yeah, it's got a lot
So,
of USB-C ports as well. That's the new thing. It's not like the MacBook though. That's USB-C exclusive, and you have to like buy a hub if you want USB-A. This does
yeah.
have two ports for regular USB, but yeah, they're Apple's been big on the USB-C, which and Thunderbolt too. I mean, which is no surprise. I mean, I think we should all switch to USB-C at some point. It's a fantastic interface, right?
Yeah,
So
it's the best. I love it. Straight
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think see you painted me in a bad light, right? So I don't hate Apple products. I just hate how good their marketing is. You know what I
okay,
mean?
okay,
Like I always felt that they charge a little bit too much for technology that's a little old.
yeah,
Um like outdated technology is like they price it twice as much. It'll be like 3-year-old products and they're like "Yeah, this is worth twice as much as what you can get regular retail, but because it says Apple on it, this is what you get."
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can't wait for the teardowns of YouTubers. Linus Tech Tip's gonna have a field day for sure.
Oh yeah.
So, I think that'll be interesting. $2,000 is steep, um, and then the Ultra model being 4,000. I mean,
And
whoa.
that's just starting, right? Like it's not even like
Yeah,
all the way up, so it gets even worse, I guess.
yeah, they oh, I see how they have it set up. They basically base price on storage. Storage is wildly expensive. Just going to
Yeah,
the Apple website, I mean, they start you off at 512 gigabytes. SSD storage, you're not gonna go with 512. You're gonna get bigger, right?
right. I mean,
1
truly.
terabyte, 200, 2 terabyte, 600, 4 terabyte, 1200, 8 terabyte, 2400. I mean,
Hmm. Yeah, man.
that's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, especially SSD, it gets astronomical the higher you go. And that's
Mhm.
like it's really bad with SSDs. So it's crazy, man. Uh I'll be curious to see. I'm definitely gonna look at whenever YouTubers start getting hands on with them, I'm definitely gonna see some videos because I would be wildly curious as to how this thing performs. And I guess the use case, so to speak.
Yep. It goes you can order now. You can pre-order it now. And it goes up March 18th. So, I think we mentioned that, but just a reminder.
Yeah, very soon. Very
Just
soon.
next week. Next Friday.
Yeah. I also want to mention The Verge. It's very funny and ironic that they gave a Microsoft Surface ad on an Apple um article. Very interesting. And a Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra article or ad on a Apple article. Very
Yeah,
good
I
pairing.
got yeah. I had well, it just went away. It was like Latitude or something. I don't know what that is, but then maybe it's Dell. Yeah, it's Dell Latitude. I got Dell on my advertisements and that's it.
Yeah, I guess Apple doesn't pay for ad space much, huh?
You don't need to when the brand sells itself.
Exactly, man. Got a dedicated fan base.
Yeah. It
Like
reminds you
giant.
that you're part of the community every time the text goes green. Gonna ostracize those Android users, you know?
Ain't that the truth, man? Ain't that the truth?
I'm crying inside.
You Android user.
Hey, whatever.
Anyways, you know what you can't get
Yeah.
ostracized for? Video games, baby. Okay, well,
Nope.
this is like Sony. So, I mean, it kind of, I don't know, my point might be moot. Anyways, the state of play was this week from PlayStation, showcasing a lot of Japan's games that they're currently working on at Japan studios. The first game they showed, and I'm only going to touch on a couple of them throughout the whole thing. There's
Mhm.
only a couple I'm really interested in. Um,
There are quite a bit to go through,
yeah,
and we can make an entire episode off of it.
yeah, if we really
So,
wanted to, but we will not be doing that. Um, the first game they showed was Exo Primal, which is a brand new a brand new IP from Capcom that will be launching. Actually, I don't know if they announced when it's launching. Maybe next year. But the trailer was certainly interesting. I play a little bit of it here. It has for those that don't, for those that can't watch it or listen to audio, just picture a giant vortex, black orb in the sky, and there are just a ton of like velociraptors just falling from it. Just picture that if you're driving. Just yeah, just don't look behind you. It's anyways, this game looks very it looked very interesting to me when I saw it. It seems like a game that it would be fun to kind of just hop on and just like mess around in. Um, but but yeah, it's raining dinosaurs. There's a lot of funny articles that came out too about Capcom was making a game where it rains dinosaurs. That was like headlines I saw. I don't know. Did you see the trailer at all, Mike, for this?
I honestly, I'm gonna be a bad reporter on this one and take the L. I have actually not seen much of this at all. Remember, this was going live. I think it was buried in work,
Hmm.
and I messaged you and I was like, "Hey, here's the live link." And then you're like, "Yeah, I watched it. There's not too much going on." And then you messaged me, you're just like, "There's this really weird game going on though."
Yeah. Yep. That is Exo Primal. As you can see, gameplay looks interesting. just guys in like mech suits just fighting
Yeah.
dinosaurs. Um, like I said, especially it seems like it's a multiplayer game. I mean, hop on with a couple buddies, kill some dinosaurs. I mean, hey, what
Yeah.
could go wrong, right?
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be it definitely could be a lot of fun. But it does kinda remind didn't Monster Hunter have something similar to that?
I believe
Is that
so.
that the game? Like, there was four hunters and then 1 monster that's just trying to survive,
Oh, I don't know
like, to
actually.
evolve and get stronger. Maybe it's evolution.
Maybe no, Evolve. Is that what you're thinking? I think it wasn't that a game.
Evolve, it's
Yeah,
Evolve.
yeah, yeah. Coming
Yeah, it kinda reminds
2023.
me of that.
Coming 2023 is when we got Exo Primal. But yeah,
It looks like a lot of fun.
yeah, definitely looks like a lot of fun. It's coming to both PS4 and PS5, so
Mhm.
still PS4 is getting love even in 2023. Um,
Somehow.
somehow, man. Then again, PS2 had got love for how long, man? After that console came out, way
Forever.
too long.
Way too long, yeah.
Way too long, man. So no
They were
surprise
real
there.
quick to, like, rule I think they ruled out PS3 before they ruled out PS2.
I wouldn't doubt it, man. I'm pretty sure it was like Just Dance or some IP that was still hanging on in like
Oh, yeah.
2012, 2013. It's crazy. Um. Anyway, so that was one game I saw that looked rather interesting. Um. Another quick note: Returnal. If you play that game at all, it's getting a co-op mode and a new area to explore. So I know there's a huge amount of people that actually really like Returnal. So certainly getting a little bit extra with that game coming up. Another game I wanted to talk about. This is actually one of the new releases coming out this month, March 22nd to be exact. It's Ghostwire Tokyo. Single
Mhm.
player game. It looks absolutely insane, but I think in a good way. It's kind of like it's the classic Japanese writing of like what's going on, but it's like very interesting, and it's like why like Japan
Yeah.
like literature and just like all the art that comes there is just like mind blowing to me. But yeah, I mean, I'm playing the trailer right now. I mean, you could just, you could sit here, just zone me out and just watch this, and you'd be like, whoa, what's going on? Um, but yeah, I don't know. Have you seen much of Ghostwire Tokyo at all?
I've only seen the trailer. So, I routinely, I'll just go on YouTube and I'll watch, like, video game trailers. Like, literally, I find these 30, 45-minute episode long where they're just like, "Oh, upcoming games for 2022," or whatever, like, the month of March or whatever, just to try to stay in tune. And I saw this. I have no idea what it's about, but it looks awesome. It's
Yeah,
like martial arts mixed with magic.
yeah,
It's
I
like
know.
sorcery.
That's the thing, man. The
And
combat looks fun. Like,
yeah, the combat looks super fun. And what's standard for me when it comes to PlayStation games is story pretty much always hits. Like
always,
they really focus on story. So I mean the game looks good. I'll be
cool
watching the gameplay for
for
sure.
sure. It looks nice and
'Cause
creepy, and looks so good.
it looks new. It looks like something I haven't really seen before.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. There's definitely originality there to it.
Yeah.
So it's I'm hoping it's a breath of fresh air. But I'm certainly going
Oh,
to be
we need
checking
it.
out a lot of the big streamers come March 22nd, 25th, according to this. I'm sure streamers will get it early, so I'll be certainly checking it out.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, you get 3 days of early access, I guess, if you pre-order it. But yeah, another I think another action adventure kind of game that it's coming out of Sony, so the story's probably going to hit, like you said. I mean,
Yeah.
looking forward to seeing it for sure. Who knows? Might even pick it up. I don't know. Was there anything from the state of play that caught your eye, Mike, other than this stuff?
Well, I mean, it's just we can mention it briefly for my personal take is Gundam. I
Hmm.
mean, I think Gundam could be kind of cool. I'm a big fan of like arena shooters. That's what Gundam looks like. And what it also it's free to play, first of all. Um the cool thing is that it was announced for PC, but it's also going to PlayStation 4 and 5. So I think this could be kind of a success for PlayStation or for PC. But it sort of reminds me of, an old game that I used to play, Transformers: War for Cybertron, and there was a trilogy game where you can basically play as, like, Transformers or Decepticons. You can, like, morph into, like, planes, cars, and, like, ships and stuff like that, or tanks. It's, like, really cool, and Gundam kind of reminds me of that. Just like you're just a giant robot
Yeah,
messing other robots up in arena.
I know. Well, looking at this, it's like another FPS game. I mean, I'm definitely gonna try it out. I think, especially free to play. Like, why not,
Yeah, free
right?
to play.
Like,
I'm definitely gonna
you
play it,
might as
but
well. Um, looks like a lot of fun though. It's got some modes I think that look very similar to like Overwatch and other FPS games like that.
mhm.
Looks like a lot of fun though. I mean, Gundam. Like, just look at this. Looks sick. um,
Yeah, they're gonna test the networks in like March or something. Not March.
yeah,
Hold on, let's
it's
double check.
yeah, I don't know if it actually
Probably at the end of the
says
trailer.
here. Yeah,
Spring
spring
2022.
2022
So in
is
a
the
couple of
network
months.
test.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
it could be in 2 months.
definitely looking forward to that. I'll be checking that out as well. Um, not too much else. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles got a Cowabunga collection of old NES, SNES, Sega Genesis, Game Boy TMNT games. I mean, there's like everything. It's all in all one little bundle. It's coming out later this year. That looked pretty interesting. Um, Other than that, there wasn't too much that I saw that really caught my eye. I don't think. Uh, Anything from you, Mike?
No, nothing really. I mean, the only other one I would mention is like Giga Bash. It reminds me of old school like N64 Godzilla, or not N64, Nintendo GameCube or
Oh
Wii
yeah,
or whatever it was. You ever play that game?
know what you're talking about. Yeah, I think I've seen
Yeah,
that
where you can
before.
play as all the different monsters from Godzilla, but yeah, you couldn't play as King Kong.
Yeah, something like that.
But it was really cool. It was like World of Monsters or something. I think the name of it, but it was awesome, and that's basically what Giga Bash looks like.
Yeah, definitely does. So,
Oh wow! It actually says in the description. This is
new
as close
War
to
of
a
the
new
Monsters.
war.
I
Yep, should have just read that. Or the monsters.
think we're ever going to get it. Says the close we'll ever get to War of the Monsters. It's funny,
Good game. Good game. A lot of people don't know what War of the Monsters is, but
but you know,
yeah,
Mike, you know.
I know. I know because I'm 56 years old. That's why.
You know what feels like it's been taking 56 years to launch, Mike? Overwatch
What's
2.
that?
Overwatch 2. But there's light at the end of the tunnel. It was announced just today, it's kind of breaking news, that Overwatch 2 is going to release a PvP and PvE modes. They're going to release them separately, and the PvP beta is next
Mhm.
month in April. They announced all this today in a blog post. It's 5v5. Overwatch 2 is, of course, going to be 5v5, 4 new maps. There's going to be a new hero, a new mode. Going to be some reworks of some of the classic heroes like Doomfist, Bastion, Sombra, a lot of those old ones. And the new era is going to start fairly soon. And so I'll be curious to see. I mean, PvP beta in like a month, that's crazy to me after like not hearing much about Overwatch 2 for the longest
Yeah.
time. I don't know. What do you think, Mike?
Well, I mean, keeping it quiet is the wise decision, honestly. Like when the way things have been, like, excuse me, the way things have been going the last couple of years with game developers and their audience and clients, I'll use fans, consumers. It's been brutal. So they got to make sure they get it right. And Overwatch has been on a pretty downward slope the last couple of years, especially the Overwatch League. And I'm excited. I mean, Overwatch 2 is 1000% bringing back old Overwatch players. It's just, can you retain those players?
Yeah.
So a PvP with a beta coming out and a PvE modes, I mean, that's a good idea. Like, give people the opportunity to play your game again. And I think the problem with Overwatch as a whole is the game modes just got stagnant for me. I think they needed to do a couple other things, like some type of more casual gameplay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just fun modes, like sandboxish.
Yeah,
That
it does.
that's like that's what they really needed. Um,
Yeah, I see
but
what
I
you're
mean,
saying.
I'm excited. I'm definitely gonna play it for sure.
Yeah.
How about
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll definitely check it out too. There's a beta sign up as well on their website. So if you want to, I guess, sign up for it, you can. Um, I played a little bit of Overwatch. I never got like super into it. I loved the gameplay though for the little time that I played. kind of seems like Overwatch 2 is just an extension on the base game, which I
Yeah.
think maybe with the PvE mode it may branch off to kind of its own thing. But it kind of just seems like, here's Overwatch with like some changes. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's at least how I'm interpreting it. So we'll see when the beta arrives, but yeah, I definitely think I'll check it out. It's a little bit. Um, and they even put in their tweet, they talked about the beta begins late April. There's gonna be new heroes, maps, and modes. The beta signups on their website, and it's been 0 days since the last Overwatch 2 update. Let's go. Uh, um,
Yeah, so a couple of things that they said was, yeah, new hero, 4 new maps. There's a new mode, which I mentioned, hero reworks. Okay, so they're gonna do balancing and then a ping system. So yeah, I mean, I'm into it.
yeah,
I'll give it a run again. I hope I don't have to pay full price for a new game though, but I'll give it a go.
yeah, they even offered some wonderful screenshots. This insane
Yeah,
resolution.
yeah,
Um,
high quality.
yeah, for sure.
I love the art style. I really do. That's
I
one of the
know.
things that always drove me into Overwatch. Just the art style is so sick.
Yeah. Definitely. I've been a huge fan of that too. I was like, every time I go to the game, it's like the colors and like just the cartoony aspect of it always is like just fun to play. I don't know. Draws you
Yeah.
in. Yeah. Sequel's coming out soon though. PvP beta next month at the time I'm recording this episode. So I have a couple small articles left. I'll move on to a bit of a funny one that I found. Um, For those that don't know, there was a Georgia man that was jailed after spending $60,000 of COVID disaster relief on a Pokemon card, Shiny Charizard. He spent 60 G's on it. Unfortunately, it is now owned by the U.S. government, and they will be auctioning the card off. Um, but they gave it. He has a name, Danoff, I think is what his name is. He's 31, sentenced to 36 months in federal prison after pleading guilty to wire fraud for buying a Pokemon card with COVID funds. Kind of crazy, man. Like, kind of crazy. Uh, like wow. I don't know what drives someone to do that, but here we are, I guess. What are your thoughts on it, Mike?
So I just skimmed the article, so this is the first time I really heard about it, right? So right off skimming it is uh he basically committed fraud and claimed that he was running a 10 employee business during the pandemic, which amounted to a loan that you can apply for the relief fund loan. Got $85,000. Then he spent close to $58,000 on a new Charizard card from Pokemon TCG, and the card isn't even a mint 10.
Oh no.
It's a nine
Oh
nine and a
no.
half.
Oh no. Got
Yeah,
it PSA
and
graded and it's not even a 10. That is rough.
yeah, and the tens, to be honest, even at 85K, you're not getting a 10. Like
Yeah.
tens, Charizard, original Charizard tens,
Gen
those
1
things are
maybe.
like $300,000.
Yeah.
I think they're
Yeah, I mean,
crazy.
dude, absolutely insane. I mean, yeah, and like to speak on that too, like those like original Charizard cards. It's like I mean, you've seen like like Logan Paul like did an unboxing, and I think he ended up like
Oh
getting one,
yeah,
and he like wore it on a chain to one of his like boxing matches, and he's like showing it off, and then there was the whole thing with like Logan Paul where he like bought a whole like he apparently bought like a whole like pack of like booster boxes that were supposed to be like Gen 1 booster boxes they were like GI Joe cards or something like that. He got completely scammed.
yeah.
That was pretty unfortunate, but yeah,
I feel
dude.
for the guy on that one.
I mean, yeah, this is like really bad. Not only do you spend all that money, but it's like not even like the best card you can get. It's like, come on,
Yeah.
man.
Well, you steal it. So I don't. So he's gonna be sentenced to 36 months in federal prison. Who? Prison though? Federal?
Federal prison?
Jeez, 3 years? I mean, he'll get out early
Probably,
because
yeah.
like good behavior. But let me tell you something. Why didn't you just take like the rest of the money and then chuck it at like Bitcoin? You know
Why
what I
don't you
mean?
just
Just
like fraud it in another way, you know?
yeah, I mean, like throw all the money into Bitcoin. You know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
hey,
Like I've been on a big crypto like last 2 weeks, so big
hey,
into
man,
crypto right now.
just go into crypto, multiply your money, and then you have even more money you could give
Yeah,
back.
yeah. And the cops show up to your house, the feds. You just be like, hey, listen, what if I just give you all the money back? You're gonna take the card. Let me just give you the money back, and
I
then you
got your
can
money in like
negotiate.
I got your money in like 3 Bitcoin. You want that?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you're just chilling. You're like that 36 month in federal prison goes down to like 6 months with good behavior. I mean, like we chilling, dude.
Thanks. That's funny. But yeah, come on, Georgia man. Come on,
Oh
dude.
yeah.
Like not only did you like
That's what
use not only did he fraudulently use the money, but then on top of that used it in the dumbest way possible.
yeah,
Very
yeah. I
unfortunate.
mean, Pokemon cards are definitely an investment, like for sure, especially
Oh
first
yeah.
generation. But I mean, you're not gonna get a 10 though.
Yeah, like come on.
I mean, you're not gonna get a 10.
Come on, dude. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you, man. It's that's just unfortunate in many regards.
Hmm.
All right, Georgia man. Hopefully your sentence isn't too bad, you know? That's all I can say. Anyways, there was a moving on, there was a the Google Cloud platform went down earlier this week. And if you're listening to this on Spotify, well, that was one of the platforms that were affected. Um,
Yep.
so pretty much the internet blew up on the Tuesday.
Yeah.
All this happened. It was
Uh,
rather unfortunate. I mean, I know we use Discord pretty frequently, you and I, Mike. So we didn't have Discord for a
all
few
the time.
hours. That's pretty rough,
I
man. Like, I'll
honestly,
be honest.
I mean, for you, I was busy. I was busy. I wasn't even looking at Discord. I think what I was doing is like listening to YouTube or something, like I
Yeah,
usually do. Just throw on YouTube, like listen to a video or whatever.
yeah.
So it didn't affect me. It wasn't until like, uh, what was it? Yeah, I got a DM from you guys on Snapchat of all services. It's just like, well, boys, this is how we have to communicate. You, me, and Nick. And I'm like, Snapchat's still a thing. Got push notifications.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, it's crazy. But so pretty much on Twitter, especially, I think there was an outrageous amount of tweets when Spotify went down because everyone uses it. It's
yeah.
like whenever that went down, everyone was like going to Twitter for it. The Discord went down, and whenever Discord was down, Discord even tweeted out. Article probably has it somewhere. Oh, they actually don't have it here. But Discord tweeted out that for people to go outside since Discord was down as a joke. I just thought was pretty funny. But it was I know Discord was affected, Spotify was affected, Wikipedia.com was affected. Pretty much a bunch of websites and services that are under the Google Cloud platform ended up going down for a few hours on Tuesday. It was due later on. Google Cloud tweeted out and said there was an ongoing issue with the load balancer of their service, and it was affecting pretty much every pretty much every service that runs on it is impacted. I know I even on like there's a lot of like services out there and like small sites and stuff that they utilize Google Cloud for their for all their cloud, I guess, infrastructure. So there's a lot of people probably having a bad day. But I mean, if I've learned anything from doing like IT work for so long, it's like if something like this happens, then kind of just there's not really much you could do. It's kind of just wait it out. So it's
Yeah, basically.
not the complete end of the world if it goes down. It's not your fault, right? So
Yeah.
um, but yeah. So just know that if Spotify or Discord didn't work and you're wondering why, I mean that pretty much is why. It wasn't their fault. It was Google's fault. So point the finger there. Although YouTube was fine, I will say, like you said, YouTube was
Yeah.
untouched. So
Untouched. It was chilling.
it was
So
chilling, man.
obviously they maybe they have the original servers from when YouTube is its own thing.
They might. Yeah, I don't know how that works. You would assume that they would be
Yeah.
under Google Cloud to some extent, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, right? Maybe. Do you really want to keep all that amount of data, all those videos in the cloud?
Yeah. Yeah, probably
I
not. There's
mean,
probably not even enough like space in the cloud.
say
We don't know how big the cloud is, you know?
I look up every day. I can't tell.
you just there's you don't know, man. There's I mean
That's all. Yeah.
the cloud's a cloud, right? It's supposed to be infinite, I guess, but
I mean, just yeah. I mean, what? I don't know.
I just work
It's
here,
all
you know?
magic to me,
I just
really.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you just work here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh.
I just show up and I use it. That's all. I just take. I don't give.
Oh, man. Anyways, last article. This is a quick recap. We've been
Yeah.
following the 100 Thieves Valorant stuff pretty closely, the ongoing story,
Drama.
the drama. For those that don't know, quick catch up: 100 Thieves, they signed 4 players for the upcoming VCT tournament. Team performed very poorly. Like, we're talking, they lost a map 0-13, got completely shut out, and that happened
Yeah.
at least once in one of the first rounds.
Yeah.
So
They
they
didn't
ended
win a
up,
game.
yeah, they. I mean, I think they won a few of the rounds in one of the matches, I believe, but there was one that was a complete shutout. He just got creamed.
Yeah.
So that happened. They ended up dropping 2 of the players the same day that they had just signed and just got contracts. Nate Shot said no
Mhm.
buy, and so he got rid of those guys. They signed. They didn't. They got contracted in a couple players from. I guess they borrowed a couple players from other
Yeah.
orgs.
Loans,
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. They loaned a couple players out. However, that did not seem to do the trick. They faced Xset this past weekend, and Xset still took the victory against them. They did get a few rounds. As from what I've heard, the games were at least a little bit closer, but they still could not close out the 2 matches from this past weekend. So this article I found on Upcomer, it states that they are officially out of the playoff contention for the Challenger Series, at least the first series. So they still have some matches coming up this weekend against Envy, I believe. That is the next team they face, and that is Envy is also 0-4 right now in the series, so it's them and 100 Thieves in their particular pool. So I mean, who knows? They may get a win, I guess, maybe in this in this upcoming weekend, but the first series just not going in their favor, man. I don't know what's going on, what that team's doing, but they're just getting run over, man. It's
They're getting beat up.
yeah.
And you said Team Envy?
He was Team Envy. I don't know the Evil Genius. Sorry, not Envy.
Oh, okay. EG. Well, that's still a
EG.
huge brand,
Yeah,
man.
still. Um,
Sheesh.
yeah, EG. I remember them from COD days.
Yeah,
But yeah,
100 Thieves, Evil Geniuses, and NRG will not uh to progress to the VCT NA Stage 1 playoffs. That's wild, man, because those are like really, really successful brands overall in orgs.
yeah.
So them not succeeding or finding success in Valorant right now, that's wild. So they're gonna be looking for new players for sure. I would be
Probably.
like,
I know Kiko even talked about on his stream. He's captain of the team of the 100 Thieves team. He was saying
yeah,
that they're already looking at 2 potential new signs that they want to do soon. So they're already, looking ahead. Because of course their 2 new additions aren't permanent. But yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
that's right.
stage 1 of this series. I mean, for those that don't know, the way the VCT kind of works is there's a challengers kind of tournament first series that happens. Depending on how well you play there, you go on to the first master series and you compete in the masters. And then after that, there is essentially a second chance. You have a second series of the challenger tournament. So they have a chance to recover and possibly make it to the championship at the end of the year. You essentially get 2 chances. And there is a point-based system. So depending how many points you get will qualify you for the tournament at the end of the year. But they are not having a good start, man. I'm hoping they could.
No,
I'm hoping the 100 Thieves could turn it around. I'd love to see them, compete at the Worlds. But gosh, man, not looking good for the start, huh?
no, definitely not. Let me ask you this: Do you know if it costs any money for these teams to enter? Is there like a franchise fee?
I know they do like as far as I know, it's kind of region locked, I think, in a sense, especially like the Challenger series, I think, like the first like Challenger
Yeah,
tournaments, I think it's kind of like region based.
that
But
makes sense.
yeah, as far as I know, I don't think there's teams associated with any particular like, city or anything. But
Yeah.
I don't officially know, so uh, I'm assuming. I mean, there's some pretty big name orgs involved in this, but there's also some orgs I've never heard of. So I don't think there's. If I had to guess, there's probably no like huge buy-in if there is a buy-in.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of
What?
kind of like low tier orgs, at least from what I see.
Yeah, I mean, I like the reason why I brought it up is because I like the system, and it'd be pretty sick if like anybody, any like org, if they're just good enough, they can get in
Yeah.
based on merit of skill. That'd be pretty sick, just overall. And yeah, I mean, it basically comes down to every single series and everything matters,
Yeah.
which is why they had to take extreme measures after the first game, like
Yeah.
series that they did. The
Yeah.
first day, they're like, okay, two guys out immediately. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
mean, there's
immediately
definitely,
scramble to loan.
it seems cutthroat, but there is a reason for it. There's not doesn't seem like there's a whole
Yeah,
lot of opportunity, right? Like you have to kind of get
yeah, no,
in and get
yeah,
points through
absolutely.
masters. And if you don't, you're just kind of screwed.
Yeah, you're out.
So, um, so yeah, we'll be following 100 Thieves pretty closely just to see how they do. But
Yeah,
ooh,
definitely.
rough start, man.
And Valorant as a whole, we should be watching that. Maybe do watch parties or something. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun. I actually, for the first time in a while, I actually watched. I didn't see 100 Thieves compete, but I know I saw Optic compete in the recent series this past weekend. Um, and seeing all that, like watching Valorant again, I was like, yeah, this is actually fun to watch. I forgot how fun it is to
Yeah,
like watch Valorant. But yeah,
yeah,
see
it's
some of
pretty
those
cool.
teams compete. So,
It's a little bit more exciting, I think, than CS:GO for me because it's just I played CS:GO and watched CS:GO for so long.
yeah,
It's just kind of cool to see something different for Valorant.
yeah, for sure. It's exactly what you get
Mm.
with Valorant too.
Yes, sir.
That was all the articles I had, Mike. Unless you had any thing you wanted to cover,
No, I think we pretty much covered it. I mean, we've been at this I think for over an hour now.
definitely.
So,
So
um I feel like there was a lot of stuff that went on this week. Oh yeah, a little side note that we don't know, it doesn't really matter, is Dr. Disrespect and Twitch settled their lawsuit,
yeah,
and I guess both parties disagree is what he said.
yeah.
So
It's
that
like kind
tells
of a
me that it probably just got thrown out.
yeah. It seemed like an agree to disagree type thing. Like
Yeah.
it's just kind of
Agree,
like
disagree, maybe a settlement clause possibly.
I don't know. Seemed like
Who
yeah,
knows?
from his post there was no bad blood, right? So to
Yeah.
uh.
Yeah. But he posted I think he tweeted it after his stream. So he usually goes
Yeah,
live in the morning
it
and
was kind of
streams to
late in the
like
day. Yeah,
yeah, so I
so
don't think he was live when he tweeted it.
yeah. It's also his birthday today. So happy birthday, Doc.
Oh, happy birthday, Doc. How old is he? Like 48?
Something like that, man. Man's
I
up
wonder I
there,
wonder if
dude.
it's publicly listen, let's see, Dr.
I think
Disrespect.
he's like,
I
is
know
his
nobody
late?
cares about this,
Yeah, not
but
really. I'm pretty sure it's like late
he's
30.
40.
Is he
Happy
40?
40.
Oh, happy
Yeah, happy
40th, man.
40. Big 40. That's a big
Big
deal. And he
40,
finds
yeah.
out about the lawsuit on his birthday. They did that deliberately. They did that deliberately. That's some malicious stuff. Maybe that's why everybody at Twitch quit.
They knew the insides, dude. They knew
They
it.
knew it. They're just like, he's gonna take everything, man.
I
They
mean,
all went to go join his studio.
yeah. I mean, to be honest, though, it's probably a huge like weight off if he, because those lawsuits,
Oh
especially, it's a
God.
lot to deal with, man. When you have to go
I
through a
mean,
lawsuit, so
it was like what 2 years ago almost.
yeah, something like that.
A
So
long
yeah, it
time.
was going on for a while. I know, like I definitely had forgot about it, and like when I saw
Yeah,
that today, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot he did. Like, I guess he did sue, but yeah,
it's crazy, man. Absolutely insane.
yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for episode 9 of the M2 podcast. I'm your host, Mad Mike, Kyle, and I are always here once a week. We're posting videos and podcast episodes every Friday. Come join us, talk with us. We got Discord, Twitter. I don't know what else we got.
Oh man, Anchor, that's another one.
Yeah. Every
Podbean,
podcast,
we could go on and on, man.
literally everything. Yep.
Literally everything.
So yeah, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you, and see you next time.
Yep.
Peace.
See you next time. Peace.